Look at us, the mom and daughter who got separated 2 seconds after you were born, the mom and daughter who could never latch, the mom and daughter who did not have skin to skin for weeks. Welcome to the first episode of How is Special Needs. I am thrilled to start this podcast. I want to share more stories from our journey with Kabuki syndrome, the challenges I found, and that many others have faced too. I want to interview many other special needs parents and create a sort of ID card for each of the conditions that we talk about. I have been thinking about doing it for months, and I was planning on starting in January 2025. But then I thought, what if I start in November? This way, the podcast and my baby girl, Beatrice, will both be born in November. How cool is that? I'm excited about starting this podcast, and I'm also a bit scared. Actually, I'm terrified. I've never done a podcast before. I am confident that I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing it anyway because that's how I do stuff. I just start and whatever happens, happens. I'm scared because I don't know if other people will listen to this podcast and will find it stupid. Or even worse, what if nobody listens? So let's make a pact. I will dedicate this first episode to my daughter. I will just talk to her, and if somebody else listens, then welcome. If nobody else listens, at least this episode will be one of those memorabilia that parents leave to their children, and then the children will find so much stuff to go through when their parents are dead. So, Beatrice, you're welcome! I wanted to do something anyway for your birthday, as you're turning 2 this year. Last year, I created a video on socials with lots of pictures from your first year of life. And I was going through the same pictures this year. And I just realized, girl, it's been an incredible roller coaster for me. But what a ride it's been for you. My beautiful girl, we have gone through such an intense journey. And sometimes I'm so focused on healing and getting over my traumas that I forget that you have had the same, if not much worse, traumas. Yes, it's been a trauma for me not to have skin to skin with you for the first 7 weeks of your life. But this also means that you didn't have skin to skin with your mom for the first 7 weeks of your life. I had to experience the overwhelm of many hours of labor and an emergency cesarean where they immediately took my baby from me. But it must have been horrendous for you to go straight from the womb to a room full of strangers. I was deprived of breastfeeding, sure, but you are the one who got a tube inserted down her nose and throat for 14 months. And it must have been quite annoying, since many, many times we ended up in emergency because you pulled it out, cheeky girl. Yeah, you have a rare syndrome and everything. But certainly, we have to admit that you are incredibly resourceful when you want to achieve a goal. I couldn't spend the night with you for weeks, but it's also true that you couldn't spend the night with your family for weeks. You were in a bed in neonatal ICU, attached to lots of tubes, surrounded by sounds, lights, and other crying babies, instead of your quiet, warm bassinet at home, with your parents and your dogs. The first year of your life, you were barely laughing. And when you finally started smiling and enjoying tickles, you were still not making eye contact with any of us. But who can blame you? You were still recovering from the open heart surgery you had when you were 8 days old. They said you were not in pain, but girl, between you and me, I hate them when they say these things. First of all, how do they know? Have they had a heart surgery when they were newborns? Do they remember that after 6 weeks, it wasn't that painful anymore? Second of all, I know grown-ups who have complained for months after their surgeries, and their procedures were certainly not as invasive as having the chest open for 2 days before they could close you back. Personally, I know that after 2 years, my cesarean scar is still a bit sore when I press it. So yes, it is very plausible that you've been in pain for months. End of story. And your reflux. Oh, girl. So many tests trying to understand if it was just reflux or if there was something more. CT scans, ultrasounds, milk study, x-rays, and that little doctor who was minimizing. It's just bad reflux. She's just one of those babies who cry a lot. I was so happy when we flicked him off our medical team, like you flick a mosquito off your shoulder. One of the worst things about all the hospital admissions you had was the attempts to insert a cannula in your small, fragile veins. We spent hours holding you still on those hospital beds while the doctors and anesthetists were poking you again and again, and you were so desperate, almost fainting from exhaustion. Every time we were experiencing the same story. They were trying to give you some sucrose because, oh, that should calm her down. And every time I was telling them, don't do it, you're going to upset her even more. And every time the whole story finished with me saying, I told you so. Classic. I could go on and on with these memories for hours, but I will not focus on these memories anymore. Not today. Today I will focus on the fact that you made it through, Beatrice. After all those procedures, after all that pain, you are here and you're thriving. You finally trust other people, not just mom and dad. You still hate doctors, but that's okay because I hate them too. And I'll tell you a secret. Everybody hates doctors. They know it. And when they go to the doctor, they hate doctors too. Baby girl, you have not been admitted in a hospital for a year now. How cool is that? Yes, we still go to different therapies every single week. And that's exhausting for the both of us. But you are stable and you're happy. Genuinely happy. The most beautiful moments for me at this stage are when you're lying on the changing table and I tickle you. You look straight into my eyes and you smile at me. And we laugh together. You enjoy it. You ask for more tickles and you're already laughing in anticipation of what's coming next. And that is so amazing. Look at us. The mom and daughter who got separated 2 seconds after you were born. The mom and daughter who could never latch. The mom and daughter who did not have skin to skin for weeks. Day by day we have learned to bond in so many other ways that now we just need to look at each other for 1 second and we already know what the other one is thinking. This is so healing because all this time for the past 2 years I felt so incredibly guilty for how hard your first year of life has been for you. And don't tell me I shouldn't feel guilty because that's a mama thing. We feel guilty all the time. That's our specialty. You can tell we are mothers before we even tell you if we have kids. If people ask you, do you feel accountable? Yes. Well, then you're an adult. If people ask you, do you feel guilty? Yes. Well, then you're a mom. Now the sense of guilt of the first year of your life is finally losing its grip on my poor mama's heart. And I feel grateful. I'm grateful because this whole time you have allowed me to try my best. You have allowed me to bring you to multiple specialists to figure out what was causing your distress. You have allowed me to drive you to therapies every single week since you were 5 months old. You have allowed me to show you that tickles are fun, that my homemade food is delicious, that people can be trusted. And even doctors sometimes can be trusted. You are a gorgeous little toddler who is showing the world how meaningful, how joyful, how inspiring life can be. Thank you for being you, Beatrice. Happy birthday, girl. And if anyone is watching this video, shout with me to celebrate Beatrice's 2nd birthday. Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Get ready for the next episode where we'll talk about why comparisons matter, celebrating my daughter's journey with communication delays. Stay safe. Ciao. Please subscribe and share this episode with your friends. Grazie.